Hi, my name is Shannon Costello and I'm a registered dietitian with Corporate Fitness Works. Today we're in my home kitchen and we're gonna make some easy black bean burgers. By using black beans as a base to these veggie burgers, we'll get a similar texture and amount of substance compared to traditional beef burgers. Eating plant-based meat substitutes is still very trendy and consumption continues to rise with even more and more food products on the market. But some of these popular plant-based meat substitutes can actually have more calories, more saturated fat, and more sodium than just a traditional beef burger. So while eating plant-based meals is still known to be more sustainable and environmentally friendly, we want to make sure that our choices are also healthy. So making your own veggie burgers like this will help you control the type of fat, the amount of sodium, the portion size, and will eliminate having to use a variety of chemicals and preservatives to make this taste good. So of course we'll be using black beans in these burgers. Canned beans are convenient and a great pantry staple, but be sure to drain and rinse the beans to remove any added sodium or can residue. Also, remove any of the bubbles or foam that forms on top of the beans as you're rinsing them. This will help eliminate any bloating or gassiness after eating beans. Also for this recipe, you'll need to pat them dry with a clean towel to eliminate any excess water. All beans are great sources of plant-based protein, fiber, and a variety of vitamins and minerals. For example, just a half cup serving of black beans has around 8 grams of protein, about 5 grams of fiber, which is considered a great fiber source, and they're rich in iron, calcium, folate, and many other nutrients. Together, this is known to help lower blood pressure, manage blood sugars, support healthy digestion, and promote healthy bone growth. We're also sneaking some other veggies into these burgers for more nutrients and additional flavor. So we have some diced bell pepper, whichever color you desire. I just happen to have yellow on hand. And some diced onion. Again, any type of onion will work here. You don't have to dice it perfectly because we're gonna get to that with the food processor or the blender and let that do the work there. We have some minced garlic, again, roughly chopped. That'll add a kick of flavor as well as nutrients that support the immune system. Then we have a variety of flavor components. We've got some ground cumin, some smoked paprika, some chili powder, and just a little bit of salt. And you can also add a pinch of cayenne pepper for an added kick. And then for moisture and to help with binding the burgers together, we'll add a large egg. You can also make a flax egg if your lifestyle doesn't include eggs. Then we can use either barbecue sauce, tomato paste, ketchup, low sodium soy sauce, or I'll be using some flavored salsa here. Basically whatever you have on hand to make it easy and flavorful. Another great nutritional ingredient in these burgers is rolled oats. I took whole rolled oats and ground them up in a small blender until they resembled this coarse flour texture. This is a substitute for breadcrumbs, but as a whole grain, oats will provide more fiber and nutrients. We're going to let either a blender or a food processor do most of the work for us. But before we do that, go ahead and preheat the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and then line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Then we're just gonna add all the ingredients except for the black beans to your food processor and pulse until the mixture looks like a coarse breadcrumb texture. You'll want to have a spatula handy to scrape down the sides every now and then too. So once all your initial ingredients are blended pretty well, we're gonna add just half of the black beans and pulse this several times until the mixture looks a little smoother and the beans are almost fully broken down. Then we'll finally add the rest of the black beans and just give it a few more pulses so the mixture is mostly smooth but still has some texture to it. Now I would suggest adding a little more oat flour if you think it's looking a little too sticky. So if you've over pulsed it and it's still looking like it has too much moisture in it, just have some extra of that oat flour on hand so you can add about a tablespoon at a time. And we'll let this sit a little bit so that the oat flour can really soak up the moisture. Okay, so now it's time to divide the mixture into equal portions. You can either use a measuring scoop, cupcake scoop, ice cream scoop, or even just 2 spoons. I have an ice cream scoop to make it a little easier. But you'll place each portion on your prepared baking sheet and then use the spatula or the back of a spoon to just gently flatten it into your patty shape, leaving it about 1.5 inches thick. And then once you have all of the patties shaped and formed onto your baking sheet, we'll bake this in the oven for about 10 minutes on each side. So be sure to flip them halfway through for a total of 20 minutes. If you like to be a little more hands-on with your cooking, you can also cook these in a skillet on the stove. So you would just need to add about a tablespoon of oil to the pan over medium heat and then cook each side of the patty for about 5 to 8 minutes. So these just got out of the oven. When they're finished, the edges should be slightly crusted and the patty should feel pretty firm. And then you'll just serve this warm with a whole grain bun, a sandwich thin, or you can go bunless and serve it on top of a bed of leafy greens. And then add whatever toppings you desire. So lettuce, tomato, onion, avocado, salsa, guacamole, you name it. This burger is gonna be great. And then any leftovers you have can be stored in the refrigerator for up to 4 to 5 days. But these are also great to make in larger batches because they can be frozen for up to 3 months, and then you can just pull them out of the freezer for a quick lunch or dinner. Enjoy!